Rev Match Podcast, the automotive podcast where Jeff has the fastest car here by a country mile. We're doing that by Jeff Collins, who's decided that he wants to slum it with people who are combined not equal his net worth of his R8. And we're going to talk about, I don't know, fucking whatever it's like to drive a really fucking fast car. Because, like, I don't have one. So what's that like?
It's awesome.
Yeah, as you'll notice, Chris is not here again. Some really unfortunate news. Chris's mom has cancer. So everybody go give big ups to him and his fam. Make sure you're sending him love. He needs it right now. He's going to be on hiatus for the foreseeable. Obviously, he's got a lot of shit going on. He's just taking photos and doing his thing and trying to keep his head clear, and we respect the shit out of that and obviously support him. We're going to be joined by Jamal in a little bit, who's going to kind of be, we're going to have him. We'll have Jamal when he can be available. Lenny said he'd step in here and there. Obviously, we'll just have guests on, all that kind of good shit like we usually do. Keep the content flowing, but it'll be a little bit different without Chocolate Daddy here every other Tuesday. You know what I mean? But hopefully, she gets well soon. Everything's good, and he'll be back on before we know it. But yeah. Anyway, Jeff's here. Jeff, tell us a little bit about yourself. Yeah.
About myself?
Yeah, and
I don't know.
You
want
friend.
Age, sex, location.
I was just gonna say that. God damn it.
Address.
Yeah, I want like full 2004 AOL stats. Like, hit me. Let's.
Yeah. All right. I'm 37, about to be 38. I'm a male, and I'm based in Rockland, California.
Okay. Let's start this back. What do you drive?
What do I drive? Okay, so I currently drive a 2017 Audi R8.
Okay.
I still have my 2007 Nissan GTR, which is for sale if anybody wants to buy it. And then my daily is a 2018 Audi RS5.
Okay.
Oh, dude, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody else with a hot V. We get it. Timmy, just go on. Just fucking get it out of your system. He will not shut the fuck up about the thing. Anyway.
I'm sorry. I like them. They're great cars. What color is
Great.
your RS5?
It's gray. Yeah, it's actually it's an amazing car. It's actually the reason why I bought the R8, because I started driving the RS5 and I enjoyed driving the RS5 so much more than I enjoyed driving the GTR, which is kind of an odd thing to think about.
Is it a coupe or a sportback?
That was my question, actually.
It's a coupe?
It's a coupe.
See, that is the way it has to be, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
I
never understood the four-door RS5. I never got like, what the fuck the point of that was.
I understand an A5 and an S5 sportback.
Yeah, but it's like I would much rather have an RS4. Like, if you're gonna give me, you know what I mean, or like you already have the RS.
Yes.
Like, send the RS6 sedan if you want to do that. We have the RS6 wagon, which unfortunately is like unobtainium to 4/5 of the chat, and then you have. But it's like we had one cool RS4 other than like the Avance we used to get back in the day or whatever, right? And like we haven't had anything in that size forever. It's like I'd way fucking rather have an RS4 than an RS5 sedan. RS5's coupe, I get it. It's like a big luxury coupe. It's like almost like an SL, right? Like kind of in that vein. But Like, I don't know. I was like, the fuck is this shit? Like BMW did it with the 6 Series, and Mercedes has the CLAS thing going on, and it's like, it's fucking
anyway. Not a fan of that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop off my soapbox now.
But yeah, so the reason why I got the R8 is because driving the RS5 was a better experience than the GTR, even though the GTR by far is so much faster. The RS5 is obviously not a slouch. It's like 444 horsepower. So it goes, and it was super nice and luxurious. And so I started thinking to myself, what car would be like a combination of a GTR and an RS5? And it's an R8. So
I mean,
that was kind of how that whole thing came into fruition.
Listen, I am not going to argue with anybody who has that opinion and can actually afford the car they're talking about purchasing. But all I'm going to say is, like, I wouldn't have put those two together and landed at R8. I don't know where I would have landed, but it wouldn't have been R8. I would have been like 911. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a lot of options out there, but the whole thing was just driving the RS5, like the luxury inside the cabin, the
They're fucking
virtual
super
cockpit.
nice.
I mean, everything about it was just amazing. And I was like, you know what? I really want to have this interior and just be a lot faster.
Yeah.
Yep.
Volkswagen Group's interiors are, and I don't know if you've ever listened to the podcast, Jeff, but I've gone on multiple 10 to 15 minute tirades about how the interior is the most important feature in any car. Don't give a fuck. It's where you spend all your time,
Yeah.
right? If you don't like your interior, which is probably why, I mean, I've sat in a GTR, a new one, and it looks damn near the same as your '07. Like, they haven't really
Yep.
done anything to them, right? And it's kind of the biggest negative point on that car is like,
Yeah.
it's still fast as fuck, but it's like, dude, like now they're almost 200 G's, and it's like, why am I going to spend that when you can go buy an R8, right? For
Yeah, exactly.
similar money. So
Similar money. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not stock anymore, right?
The R8?
Yeah.
No, the R8's not stock. No,
Okay.
I bought it. I bought it twin turboed.
You bought. Okay. So so you skipped over normal supercar.
Yeah.
I'm bringing up his Instagram right now, and I'll put it up on the screen so everybody can see it. But so okay, now you gotta give me a little bit of insight into like how that situation played out. Like, had you driven a stock one before you bought this one?
No. So, all right. So there's a whole story here
I
involved.
wanna
Like I
hear
had a
it.
whole
Yeah.
plan
Full
worked out.
send.
All right.
It was a full send from day one.
Perfect.
Oh, by the
Pretty
way, like and subscribe, Rev Match Podcast.
Thank you.
There we go.
Before we get too far.
We appreciate it.
Anyway, back to the thing people give a shit about. Jeff, how's your car so fast, and how'd you get there?
Yeah. So I had that whole story about RS5 plus GTR equals R8. So I get this idea that I'm going to get an R8. I'm going to sell the GTR and buy an R8. So I'm looking online. There's this guy, and he has an R8. It's a V10 Plus. It's black. It's got the nice interior, the diamond stitch seats, Alcantara, everything. I check out his car, and we come to an agreement that I'm going to buy his car. So I go to the bank, and I get approved for the loan. And during the process of getting approved for the loan, Sheepy Race had posted a blue R8, and I was like, oh my god, that car is like the color that I want. Everything about it is perfect and amazing. And they had said that they were going to install their Mac package on that car, and that's like $100,000 upgrade, right? You got to pay $100,000 for them to put their Mac package on the car. So I reached out and I was just like, hey, just curious, what does something like that go for? And they replied and they said, we actually haven't put the package on yet. We're selling the car. If you're interested, we can put any package you want on the car. And I was like, okay, well, let's just start with the stage 1 twin turbo kit. How much is that? And they gave me a price, and it was within my budget. They referred me to a bank that does, loans for cars in that price point. And I got approved for the loan, and I flew straight down to San Diego when the car was done being built, and I drove it back home.
Shit,
So
you drove it all the way from there to home.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
I mean, listen, if you're gonna spend, and I'm not even gonna try to attempt to put
Keep
a
going.
dollar
He's got
amount.
photos of them like with it all apart and putting it together.
Okay, wait, like that's cool. That's tight. That's a great photo. The GTR spit in flames is a fucking great photo. Obviously it was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because you had to go to a special bank for it.
Yeah.
But like if you're gonna spend that kind of money, and especially if it's on like a tuned supercar, like that bitch better be able to drive 600 miles without falling apart. You know what I mean? Like I would.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's kind of the reason why you go that route, right? Is you're not supposed to. And we talk about this a lot on the show, but it's like, a lot of times with most cars, and I know this very painfully well, you lose something.
Here.
Yeah, you lose something in the exchange, right? Like you add one thing, you lose something else.
Yeah.
You see a lot of guys like yourself who start, and like I'm sure the GTR was not the first car you ever modified, right? So like you kind of start small and you grow, and as you get up there and you grow in wealth and you grow in ability, you're like, I'm tired of like sacrificing shit as I throw money in an expensive hobby, and it's like at some point I just want to have it all, and if I can afford to fucking have it all, let's fucking have it all, baby.
Yeah,
right?
let's have it all. Yeah.
Also,
Yep,
Jamal's here. So it's didn't mean to interrupt, but Jamal's here. Jamal, this is Jeff Collins. He drives something that's worth more than the houses we grew up in, brother. So Jamal is coming from scenic Southern California, as you couldn't tell from the. Are you in a tire swing? What the fuck is going on over there?
It's one of them baskets.
Yeah, I got a basket swing in my backyard.
Man, I miss fucking LA sometimes, dude. Anyway.
It's amazing.
Okay, so you bought it. You drove it from San Diego up here. And then how long have you had it at this point?
I think I bought it. It was about a week before Christmas. So I've only had it for, what's that? I don't know, a month and a half.
Okay, so relatively new. So
relatively new. Yeah.
What's it making right
now? So the package, if you go onto the Sheepy Race website, the package says that it should make about 800 wheel horsepower. Mine is not making 800. It makes a little bit less than that. I think they said it made like 750. I think mine's actually even a little bit less than that. So the car still has a check engine light, and the tune needs to be modified. Okay. I just haven't had an opportunity to data log and send my tuner the information so that he can, update the tune. So I don't know. I'd say it's a little bit faster than my GTR, but not by much. And my GTR is about 640 horsepower or so. So I mean, it just kind of, I don't exactly know how much it's pushing right now, but when it's all said and done, it should be at about 750 to 800 wheel horsepower,
which is fast as fuck in layman's terms.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely insane. I mean, how it drives now, it's already absolutely insane. I mean, it sits so low to the ground, and you're just in this tiny little cockpit. It's almost like you're driving this insanely powerful go-kart, with all the weight in the back, the nose, it just feels so nimble. It's just like driving like an insane go-kart. It's ridiculous.
I mean, that's the whole like fucking mid-engine shtick, right? Is like you get all those chassis dynamic. It's like man, I'm gonna get real nerdy here for a second. Convergent evolution. I don't know if you know what that term means, but it's like eventually if you put two random animals on two different sides of the planet and they both need to fly, they're going to arrive at the same conclusion, right? We'll look at every auto manufacturer. It's like, what do we do to make a car fast as fuck? And eventually the engine ends up behind you, right? Like, because it just
it does.
Makes the most sense. See, I know what I'm talking about. Not just throwing words around to sound important. That's so. What's like the long term? Like, I know how this shit goes. 800 is not going to be enough at some point, right? Like at some point,
right?
So
it's already not enough. It's already not enough.
I spent $300,000 20 minutes ago and it's already slow. So what can we do about this? So I mean, because I know like Kyle from 1320, like he sent his to AMS, right? And he's making like 1170, almost 1200. And that thing's like, he's winning like, shootouts and shit in that thing. And he was doing it on like R888s on stock wheels and tires. So I can't even imagine what, like a set of beat locks or some shit would do. But are you gonna do like roll racing? Or are you trying to do like flying mile shit? Like what, you have any plans for the car?
I mean, so I don't really have like a specific plan as far as, what type of racing events am I going to do? I mean, maybe I'll do all of them. I really don't know. I personally just like to build the car, and if there's an event that looks fun, you might as well just do it, have some fun with it. That's kind of what I did with the GTR. I started building it, and then it was like, some of my buddies were like, hey, we're going to go drag racing. Oh, okay, let's take the GTR. And come to find out, GTRs are amazing at drag racing. I didn't even know when I was building the car. So same thing with the R8. I'm just going to keep building it, and any events that I see that look fun, might as well give them a try,
I can't wait to tech check in with you in 18 months, and next thing you know, this thing's gone to underground racing, making 3,000 horsepower, and you're pulling.
Yes!
I'm going to keep it.
He shows up with no rear bumper.
Right.
So, funny story about that.
He's all, the bumper's already sold. It's gone.
I'm gonna send the car to back to Sheepy Race probably in like, I don't know, 6 months to a year, and I'm trying to pull up really quick.
You can DM it to the Rev Match Instagram, and I can pull it up on screen. Whatever it.
I have no idea how to do that.
Oh, that's right. He's 38. My bad.
Okay, boomer. Side note, we are talking about the R8, but we need to talk about the GTR because I'm pretty sure.
Here we go.
No, his GTR was sick, and I'm pretty sure the first night I was driving mine around, he rolled past me, was fucking screaming and yelling out of his door of his GTR, trying to fucking flag me down.
I was in that.
Yes, I swear to God, because it was a green GTR, and I was coming down Pleasant Grove towards like Foothills Boulevard, and you flew past me, and I saw the taillights just fucking bright red. You fucking slow down, and somebody was yelling at me through it. I was like, I keep telling the story. It was a green GTR that pulled up next to me. What do you drive? A green GTR.
Yeah, I mean,
all I'm gonna say is that
sounds like me.
That's a great fucking license plate. Like that's.
Oh my god, that's great. Is that a factory color?
Yeah, the gray is factory. Yeah. So the green? No. The green was a wrap, so it's no longer green. Unfortunately.
Okay, that green looks so sick.
That's an interesting color choice. That's one of those colors that I would never be like, I want that one, but then I'm
right.
On my car and I'm like, damn,
you're like, yeah, that's not bad.
Oh, and
it was a tough decision to land on that green. That's for sure.
Is that a factory? That's not a factory 07 bumper, is it? It looks.
Well, the whole car's factory. It's a 2017.
Oh, I thought you said 07. I mean, they've been around that fucking long. Like, you know.
They came out in 09. The R35
I was gonna say I thought it came out
09. No, 08.
Yeah, it's 09. Yeah.
So earlier when you said like 07, I was gonna be like, wait, what year did he say?
What did he say? Okay, they came out in October of 2007 as an 08. I'm looking at Motor Trend right now. See, I'm not out of my mind.
Oh my land! Fucking Terry, fucking technical over here.
Go home.
Listen, man.
I know, right?
Mind like a steel trap. Listen, I have a very encyclopedic knowledge of shit I can't afford. So
yeah.
So you're sending it back to Sheepy Race, and what's the goal?
Yes. So I'm gonna send it back to Sheepy Race, and I'm gonna go for their Stage 2 Plus package, which is 1,250 horsepower.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's fucking
and I think at that point, probably take the as well, and then I'll have them do like a nice custom exhaust.
Oh yeah,
titanium, have it kind of show off and all that shit.
Yeah,
make sure you can see the sheep. I want to see the sheep.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you'll be able to see the sheep for sure. Yeah, and I want to have it be like a center exit. So if I ever put the bumper back on, the exhaust will exit through the center of the bumper. It looks so sick that way. It's just looks absolutely insane.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at. Oh, I see. So like almost where the plate is right now. Are you trying to come out like Zonda style, like right in the middle of the fucking bumper?
Yeah. In fact, let me see if I can show you.
That was always one of my favorite features on Paganis. They're like, fuck it, just send the exhaust like right back where the trunk would be, I guess. Just fucking shoot it out through there.
Right.
I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's the goal right there.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's the goal. And that's a Sheepy Race R8. I already messaged them and I was like, I'm going to want that. So
I want that.
Make sure that's in the package that we're going for.
Well, that's like, did you see fucking Alex Choi's Lambo that he sent to SEMA with that ridiculous, like the dump pipes go up through the back?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm looking at it and I'm fucking
it's like, and the fucking wireless charger on the hood by far.
That is such a dope feature. That is so sick.
I don't understand. Like, I mean, that kid's always kind of been a shithead. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not really shocked by anything that he does anymore. But that was just like, what? What the fuck are we doing here, man?
Yeah.
Might as well. Shit, fucking might as well. So, you think you're gonna stick with the R8?
Leave your phone on your hip that often?
Right. I mean, why not? Right? You drive an obnoxious purple Lambo that shoots flames, probably gonna burn its own wing down, makes like 1,100 horsepower. Who gives a fuck anymore? Are you gonna stick with the R8 or like? Do you think so? This is like the GTR is arguably a supercar, right?
Mm-hmm.
The R8 is undeniably a supercar. right? So
Yeah.
do you see yourself continuing in that vein? Like, are you kind of like, you know how it is, you get one thing and you start fucking with it and you're already kind of chasing the next thing?
So, a little bit of yes and no. I mean, it's one of those things where, I bought the R8 and, you always think, where do I go from here? It's like the R8's been on, the dream board for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And when you finally get there, then you got to replace it with something. So, where do you go from there?
STO.
So, yeah, potentially.
You say STO? Yeah, Huracan.
Yeah.
I mean, Huracan would be cool. I guess it just really depends, my taste kind of changes over time. I didn't, if you had told me 2 years ago, I actually, funny story too, 2 years ago today, I bought my GTR. So today's the 2-year anniversary of my GTR. But if you had told me 2 years ago that I'd be driving a twin turbo Audi R8, I wouldn't believe you.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of reasons, financial reasons, but also taste. Like, I just didn't know if that was going to be my taste or not, right? And so, I mean, I don't know, when I'm ready for the next car, maybe I want to go Huracan or McLaren. I really don't know. When you get into that price point, you really got to take your time and find the right car.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like there's no bad decisions there either.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you buy a McLaren 720S or like a 765 LT, which is obviously pushing that marker dollar-wise up a pretty significant amount, going from like a 720 to a 765. But or a Huracan or fucking a Ferrari, whatever. None of them are bad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
What a piece of shit this thing is. 911 turbo, whatever, right? Like, you're not, there's no wrong decisions in that kind of price point. To your point, it's just preference, it's just taste, it's just what is cool.
Exactly.
I'd probably go with that 911 though.
I am a huge, so I was the biggest, the 992 is a fat piece of shit the first time I saw it, because it's a big ass car, right? And I always like the smaller 911s. Like,
big though now.
I know that's my point, right? Is like, I was always really into like, I like the old air cooled shit, because like one of the dudes I used to work with at Tesla used to do a lot of like one-off machine work for Singer, right? He used to do all of his like interior trim pieces and his shift knobs and all this shit on the side out of the big 5-axis mill, and he was basically using Elon Musk's money to hustle on the side, which can't hate on him for it.
No. Fuck no.
So his homie would come, like, I would see that shit, and this is right when Singer was like, not right at the beginning, but they'd been around for like 4 or 5 years at the time, and I just really love that like classic 911 body style, right? Like, that shit's time. I mean, I still love old shit, and I think most of us still love old shit because nothing looks like that anymore. So when I saw the 992, I was like, God, that thing's fucking huge, man. Like, what the fuck? And then I was telling these guys, I saw a 911 turbo 992 super played out color scheme, but it was white with black wheels, the whole 9 yards. And I see it driving at night, and I was like, damn, that bitch is wet. Fuck, that thing's
looks
right. Like, I hate myself for liking this car, but god damn it, that thing's nice.
But it's clean.
Yeah.
And it drives even better than it looks.
See, do you remember that time that we fired up the Carrera T, Timmy? And
because of the oil or the smoking out the back?
Because the car was shit, just sitting for like 2 weeks, nobody had driven it, so it does what a Porsche should do, which is piss fucking smoke all over the place when you first fire it up. And the sales manager comes down and is like, you guys can't be driving it. Like, bro.
All we did was start it.
You
would know that if you knew how to do your job.
Yeah, well. More disgruntled car sales employees. So obviously
it's crazy that you can't drive the cars that you're selling.
Here's the dumbest shit is that he's telling me I can't drive a $110,000 car when I used to push $200,000 autobiographies around for customers all the time. It's like, bro,
it's hilarious.
This is like your guys' Civic Si, and you're telling me that I can't fucking drive it. I mean, Carrera T's sick, but let's call a spade, right? It's like low man on the top.
It's basic.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
It's a great car, but it's not the greatest car. All right, so obviously your first fucking foray into modifying vehicles was not a 2017 GTR. So, like, how did you get into cars? Like, how did that whole thing start? Because it's always
that's a long story. So,
brother, that's what we're here for.
Yeah. So
everybody's is the longest story.
Yeah.
So my first dream car was a 1993, 94, 95 Nissan 300ZX twin turbo. That was the first one, and it was always just like out of grasp. I could never afford it, and I didn't understand debt at an age where I should have been able to just go to a dealership and buy one, right? But I just didn't understand debt, and I don't want to be. And this was back when those cars were only like somewhere between like $9,000 and $12,000, right? And I remember thinking, I don't want to be $9,000 to $12,000 in debt. That's way too much money, right? And so, instead of getting one of those cars, I got a 1989 RX-7 non-turbo, and that car actually got me like super into cars because if you know anything about RX-7s, you have to work on those cars all the time, and so.
They are great.
It was just one of those things where I was constantly working on it, and so that and I had worked on cars before in the past a little bit, spark plugs, oil changes, stuff like that. But working on that RX-7 got me like really into cars, and it actually got me into RX-7s. And so the very first car that I ever bought and modified was a 1987 Mazda RX-7 that was originally non-turbo. And I bought it after it had been turbo swapped, and then I started doing some modifications to it. I put in, a catless downpipe, like an aluminum drive shaft, a Lighten flywheel, coilovers. So I didn't really do too much to get more horsepower at the engine. I just did stuff to get more horsepower to the wheels. Yeah. And that was really, that car took me, I don't know, maybe 2 years to build. And that was kind of like the car that got me really, really into working on cars, because I had to swap out the transmission, the rear diff. So I mean, I was dropping the transmission and the rear subframe to get to the diff. I mean, doing all sorts of work to that car, and that's kind of what got me into cars. And then I sold that car and I bought a Supra, and then I sold that car, and I did eventually get a 300ZX. Which was kind of like the goal. And the Supra I had was a Mark III Supra. I saw your eyes light up. It wasn't a Mark IV.
I was like, hold the fuck up. Like, how did we go from I can't afford a 300ZX to I drive a Mark IV Supra?
No. But hey, hold on one sec, because my family just got home, so it's going to get really loud. So I'm going to mute my camera and my mic for just a couple minutes while they come in and be loud, and I'm going to change spots real quick, okay?
No worries. We'll talk amongst
I'll be right back.
See, everybody starts at Japanese shit boxes. Everybody.
Damn straight.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I heard that.
I also started a Japanese shit. I still drive a Japanese shit box. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we all do.
Oh, fuck. Thanks for coming on, Jay. We appreciate it, man.
No problem.
Jamal, my brother.
Yeah, man.
Chilling. What's going on, guys?
No, I really miss SoCal right now. Just seeing.
Until Alex met me, he was into front-wheel drive Japanese shit boxes too.
I love all I'm still in a front-wheel drive Japanese
hardcore.
Shit boxes. I had an RSX. I wouldn't say that's
wrong
hardcore.
with front-wheel drive?
Hey,
Have you not hit puberty yet?
Jeez.
Let's run him. Fuck it. Let's run him.
Oh, he'll get smoked, bro. He drives a 3-valve Mustang. Get out of here.
Come on. Look at how fast you can go in a straight line.
Where's Timmy? What the fuck?
He's frozen. Screenshot it.
There he is. Okay.
Oh. I have to.
Oh.
Okay.
Hey, we're back.
Oh, I'm back. I'm not frozen.
Hey, look at that. Ooh. Wow, real subtle there, Jeff. Just kidding.
I mean,
real smooth.
Yeah, I had to. The garage is really like the only quiet place in my house when my family gets home, so I just figured I'd come out here.
You might as well show us the R8 now.
Well, the R8's actually out front, so I can't.
The garage.
Here's
the garage.
There you go.
So
this got Rev Match Cribs.
Right.
Yeah.
This is where the magic
happens. Here's a license plate that everybody's come to love.
That's fucking so funny. It's just
and then here's the RS5.
So is that like the daily? Essentially, the RS5 is like the daily.
Yeah, the RS5 is the daily, and this is the Garage Queen. I'm not really driving it because I don't want to put miles on it when I'm selling it.
Yeah.
And then
I'll trade you for the GTI.
We'll see if my Wi-Fi can make it all the way outside, and I'll show you the R8.
Don't sweat it if it won't. It's all good.
Yeah, you're all good.
Parking an I don't know. That's so funny. Park the R8 in the driveway. Yeah. And then again, I'm thinking I'm in Texas, dude. So it's like you park a fucking nice car outside, like it's getting tornadoed or hailed on or some shit. You know what I mean? That's clean. That blue is that Audi's blue is so nice. Yeah, it's got so much fucking flake in it, and it's like not the like big obnoxious American flake. You know what I mean? Like if you looked at like a new Corvette, they're like make them bigger.
It's America.
But yeah, there it is.
On Sunday.
Yeah, that's clean, dude. That's fucking That's awesome.
Yeah. So the reason why I park it in the driveway is because I don't know if you guys can see, but my driveway is super, super steep. So
shit.
I'm at the top right here, and to get it down, this grade is too steep. So it would scrape going in and out. So we're gonna have to like re-engineer the driveway just so I can get my cars in it.
I knew that was coming. I was like, obviously you got to fix the driveway. You don't do anything to the car. You fix the driveway so the car can get in.
Way ahead of you.
Come fix that.
Yeah. Oh fuck, that's so good. All right, so so you went from Mark III to 300ZX. What year is this when you have this 300ZX?
Maybe 2004, 5.
Okay.
2004, 5, 6, maybe right around there. No, somewhere between 2004 and 2008, somewhere around there.
Okay, so yeah, those things are like a clean one of those is you're probably like you said like 12 to 15 G's like for a decent miler at that point.
Yeah.
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 So how long did you have it before you hated working on it?
300. Well, so I actually had two. So the first one that I had ended up being like a piece of crap. I bought it for like $4,000 and it needed injectors, it needed this, it needed that, and it never really ran properly and it never boosted properly. And so I finally just sold the project. And then I ended up getting like a 93 300ZX. It was an automatic, so it kind of sucked, but I was like, hey, I got a 300ZX, you know. Right. And because it was automatic, I knew it wasn't like super beat on, only just like mildly beat on. And the only reason why I sold that car is because I unfortunately got a DUI in that car, and so I had to pay for everything, and the car had to go.
That do be a thing that be happening.
Yeah.
Did you have one that had the super Hikis, like the all-wheel steering?
Yeah.
Did you have one that worked?
That's an even better question because I think all the turbos have it, but honestly, I'm not even sure if it worked or not. I mean, I don't know how you would feel. I don't know how to tell if you would feel it or not because I mean, obviously the back wheel is kind of, you know.
I don't know. I thought there was a certain generation where it didn't have it.
No, they all have them. A lot of them do the Hikis delete though. Like.
Oh yeah, that's like, what it is.
Like
they do the delete.
Of people do the delete.
It's weird in a corner how it like because in the GTR because it has Hikis, you can watch it like fluctuate back and forth in a corner, and it like turns supposedly like moves shit and like turns the wheels. I guess
it only works at like higher speeds, right? Because I know it doesn't do the shit where I know it doesn't like. You can't. It won't turn in the same direction. It won't turn in the same direction as the front wheels. It only turns opposite. Which also, by the way, there's a whole generation of Prelude that do the same thing, which is fucking hilarious. When you think about it. It also didn't work. So, but yeah, it's like I'm pretty sure it's only a high speed thing, but and I think even a lot of the GTR guys get rid of Hikis, don't they? Because it's just the car's got so much fucking grip.
Why are they trying to get that to go?
I mean, it's when you look at cars now, dude. You look at 911s have it. Fucking S classes have it now. Brand new S classes have rear wheel steer. Fucking some of the new Acuras have it. Like it's a very common thing.
The STO has it.
Yeah. It's just. I mean, it's it makes cars go around corners
all
fast
driven by people who don't know that it's there.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty accurate.
That's 100% accurate.
Man, Chris,
I didn't even know
it works.
What do you mean my rear wheels are moving too?
Yeah. I didn't even know the GTRs had it.
Rear wheels don't move.
I don't think your gen had it. It's like all the 34s, the 33s, and the 32s all had it.
It's got a big ass fucking like tube about that big that runs from the back of the transmission to the back of the differential, and like it's got all these special arms and shit that I don't know. I watched the gauge when we were in the canyons. Yeah. I watched the gauge just do this back and forth.
How fucking Japanese is that? Like, we have a rear wheel steering gauge.
It does. It fucking does. When it kicks in, and you can feel it like shift the car.
Are you talking the gauge that shows if the car is rear wheel drive versus all wheel drive? Are you talking about that gauge? Because that gauge.
No, this has a different gauge at the bottom that's got like and it says fucking Hikis on it. It fucking does this all the fucking time.
Yeah, so it's
what year is yours?
95.
Oh, he's got a 95.
He's got a Skyline. He's got like a fucking,
I got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He's got Granddad. He's pushing
drive
Granddad
on the other side of the road. Yeah, I'm pushing Granddad. It's not quite Granddad.
I mean, it's 25 years old.
It's
Granddad in the hood.
If it was Lenny's car,
95, bro.
It's Granddad in the hood, bro. Old enough to be somebody's granddad these days. Shit.
Pretty much. At 25, yeah.
That's okay. So you got the Dewey. So
90, they look at you crazy.
Did you see that shit where it was like it was like a meme, and it was like, when I think of 20-year-old car, and it's like some super busted old Cutlass, and it was like,
dude, I saw that meme. That meme made me feel old, man. I felt so old after I saw that.
It was just like an Altima, and I'm like, fuck, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're old as fuck, man.
Yeah.
So
we're all not
far behind. Cars in my driveways, fucking 20.
Which one of your Mustangs? He has 3 Mustangs, by the way.
The 02.
Hates pedestrians, this guy. Like,
the 2000 and the 2000.
Yeah, it's 22. It's a 02? No, it's 20.
Shit, that's older than your last girlfriend, homie. Shit. Anyway.
Damn.
Show me the lie. Anyway.
You see how he hasn't fucking recovered yet? Come on now.
Yo, that's my dog from way back. I know how this motherfucker rolled. Don't fucking get me fucked up.
Yeah, we've had some nights.
And moving on. So you got in an unfortunate situation with law enforcement.
Yeah.
And that does at least set you back generally a year or so, right? In your
Yeah. So right around at that point in time. Let's see here. So that 300ZX, I think I had around, I want to say 2010, because I remember I sold that car, and then like 5 months later, I met my wife, and that was in 2011. So, and then at that point, you meet someone, you get married, the car situation has to change. Yep. I had a 91, a white 91 RX-7 that I just got done doing a manual swap on. Mm-hmm. Had to sell it. She had like a V6 Mustang. Had to sell that. Yeah. And then we ended up getting just like And then we just, and I think it was like a 2002, but at least it was a manual transmission, so it was a little bit of fun. And then we just ended up getting like what did we get? Like a 2005 like GMC Envoy. I did like the whole like dad car thing for a while.
Went all the way down the rabbit hole.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. I mean,
stop caring.
Yeah. I mean, that's just what happens, right? It's like it's just one of those things where you have these cars, and a lot of these Japanese shit boxes. They're money pits, and. When you get married, you kind of have to reprioritize things. And so it was just like, okay, all these cars have to go. But, I'm the type of person where I knew that even though these cars were going at that point in time, I was going to bust ass and get them back again in the future. I just kind of had to reprioritize things and get to a spot where I could buy those cars again. And, here we are now.
Dude. Yeah, it's in it. So like, do you have kids, I'm assuming?
Yeah. I've got a daughter. He's 9 now.
Yeah. Okay. So I have an 8-year-old boy, right? And so I went from driving real Japanese shit boxes. Jay can attest to that. Yeah, that car handled great until the brakes got on fire. Anyway. And then, you sell that, and I was just pushing whatever. And then I bought an STI, and then I bought an SS, and then I bought a Fiesta ST because I was commuting. And then I bought another STI, and then I threw a bunch of money into this STI. And like, I've been talking to these guys because I'm like, I can't drive this fucking thing every day, dude. I would drive 28 miles to work in Texas, and it's like, it's killing me. You know what I mean? So here I am looking at I'm looking at commuter cars, I'm looking at fucking electric cars, I'm looking all over the place because it's like the shit is like it's a luxury. You know what I mean? It's something we love doing, but you gotta be in the right fucking space to do it. And right now I'm just like, we just moved to a new state. You got to get set up, and it's the same thing. It comes back. You sell shit, you buy
do
shit.
What I did,
which is what.
Well, I haven't done it yet, but no, fuck you. My parents think I'm awesome. So
is that what they tell you? That's what they tell you?
I saw the way your mom was looking at you the other night.
Yeah, you don't even try.
Special and awesome are two different things.
Yeah. Got him.
So what did you do other than own 3 Mustangs?
To keep 3 cars in my driveway. I'm keeping 2 Mustangs. But one of them, the newer one, I'm going to sell, and I'm going to get a hybrid. And we get a fucking Ford Fusion, which is literally the same thing with 4 doors and a hybrid motor.
I mean, I don't hate that just to drive around every day. That's,
Yeah, but then I still have 2 Mustangs. Awesome.
But it's not the same thing. How the fuck? It's got 4 doors and
it's a V6 Mustang.
Dude, do you know how often I go get gas? Like, I still live in SoCal, bro. Like, it's
probably all the time.
Literally every day. Yeah, it's constant.
Yeah,
never stop. That's the same thing out here too. I mean, gas is cheap out here, dog. But like,
yeah, my buddy told me. Well, my homie has a Prius. I can't be that guy. I can't be a Prius driver. But he was like, I get gas once a month, and I sat down and did some math, and I was like, wow.
Fucking up.
The car basically pays for itself at that point if you get gas once a month.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Dude, so I did
it's crazy.
So I was telling these guys, I've been looking at Polestar 2s to lease just to drive, right? Because it's electric and they're nice or whatever. And the car payment's not that much less than what I'm paying right now. But I did the whole federal calculator on how you determine what it costs to charge a vehicle per mile. Bro, I'd spend $27 a month in electricity. I fill that fucking Subaru up every 4 days right now, and it's $50 in premium. And I'm like,
yeah,
there's no legitimate reason for this shit.
My Tahoe stopped the pump because the dollar amount ran out. It was $100, and it turned off, and I had to go and run the cart again to add more fuel. Yeah.
Wait, you're still driving around in a Tahoe?
He doesn't drive that far to work.
I don't drive it every day.
Oh.
Yeah.
No,
he's got the new STI, he's got the GTR, and he's got the Tahoe, and then your wife's got the Tiguan, right?
Correct.
Okay, so
did you guys tune that yet? That thing needs a tune.
No, I'm slacking. I know.
On the road to ignorant shit. All right, so when you got back in the game after getting out of Envoy hell, what was the first thing back? Was it the GTR? Was that your first kind of?
No. So after kind of getting back into it, so I actually, when I turned 30, my wife kind of surprised me and she bought me a 2005 Infiniti G35. So that's kind of what got me, back into the game a little bit. But even after that, I wasn't quite back into it yet. And that was when I was living in the Bay Area. And so we moved out to Rockland about 4 years ago. And I was still driving the G35 when we moved out here. But when we sold our house in the Bay, we had some money left over. And so we decided to get a couple, decent cars. And so I was thinking that I wanted to join the BMW luxury life, right? So I ended up getting, God, what year was it? It was a 550i GT. Are you guys familiar with those?
Oh,
the GT?
Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Nobody stopped you? You don't have any, you don't have a close circle of friends,
decent friends
near you that are just
well,
bro.
not when I moved out here. Not when I moved out here. No. So I didn't really know anyone. So the reason I wanted that car is because the inside of the car was so nice and so luxurious, and
spacious.
It was super spacious. So it's a 7 Series chassis with 5 Series equipment on the inside.
And weird bubble, but you could
it had a hatchback.
You could get them dumbass cheap for a while there though, right? Because they were
I probably overpaid for mine, but
was that since the 550? It was with the V8.
Yeah, it was a twin turbo V8. Yeah, it was a twin turbo V8. And so the thing is it boasted 400 horsepower. And when I drove it, it felt like 200 horsepower because the car weighs like 5,000 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's not geared. The gearing is not set up for the car to be fast. And so I drove it around for a couple months and I was like, all right, I'm not really feeling it. So I went and I bought an Audi S4. I think it was like a 2013 S4. And that was kind of a car that started getting me back into it, was the S4. The problem with that car, though, is the mechatronics unit inside the transmission went bad. And yeah, so you know
all about that, baby.
Yeah,
make a living.
Yeah, so the car just turned into this giant paperweight, and I had like, there was nothing I could do. I took it to Audi, and they were like, "Look, it's going to cost $12,000 because you're basically going to have to replace the transmission." Yep. And they said we'll warranty it for 12 months, and I'm like, so I got to do this again in a year. Pass. So I ended up selling the car to Audi, rolling the negative equity into an SQ5 that I ended up letting my wife drive. So she was driving an SQ5, and then I went over to the Dodge dealership and I got a 2019 Scat Pack. Don't ask me how I ended up there, but I ended up with a 2019 Scat Pack.
Was it a wide body?
No, there was
not then. They didn't have it yet.
I just want to point out that Jeff is just as fucking like automotively.
He's random as you.
Yeah, he's just fucking scatterbrained as I am. I was like, you know, it'd be great for 20 minutes. That stupid piece of shit over there, I'll take it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna love it for about 6 months.
Yeah, exactly.
It's actually a funny story how I ended up with the Scat Pack. So my cousin, he had a Scat Pack Challenger. And it was a cool car. I loved how it sounded. It was like my first experience with like a modern day muscle car, and it was a cool car. And so I went to CarMax to look at the SQ5s for my wife, and this was kind of around the same time that my S4 transmission was going bad.
Okay.
So I'm at CarMax, and they had a Scat Pack Charger just sitting there, and I looked at it and I was like, damn, that car looks really good. It was a Daytona package. And so they were thinking that they were talking me into buying the car, and I was kind of talking them into letting me borrow the car, because I was like, look, I'm not a muscle car guy. So if you sell me this car, I'm probably going to return it. What's your return policy? And I was actually driving to San Diego the following day, or like 2 days after I was getting this Charger. So they say that you can return a car to CarMax within 7 days, and they had an unlimited mile return policy. So I told them, I said, hey, straight up, I'm driving this car to San Diego and back. If I like it, I'll keep it. If I don't like it, I'm going to return it. So on the 7th day, I returned it.
Oh my God, yes! Yes!
Yeah.
That's the biggest, like, fuck you to CarMax you can possibly
Jeff's a piece of shit just like us. I fucking love it.
I used to work there. I used to hate people like you, man.
You literally just took the value from here and it went to
CarMax doesn't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck, but it's true.
I can't, dude. When I'm looking at my fucking how many cars I've sold that last 2 weeks, and it's like cars all of a sudden disappear the day of my paycheck. I'm like, wait, what the hell? And it's like, oh yeah,
Like,
boy brought back that Mercedes, and it's like, what?
Yeah, it was his daughter's graduation. It was a weird time.
I had a dude buy a Mercedes, a 4-door Mercedes, a S-Class, so he could take his parents to Vegas because he didn't own any 2-door cars.
I mean,
he didn't own any 4-door cars, so he was
I've
like,
spent more money on dumber shit. I don't know what you want me to tell you, dude. Like, that's funny.
Yeah.
Say, okay.
I had a guy come in to purchase the lease on his 911, and he decided to like buy this Hellcat because he thought his wife would like it, and then brought it back. Like, your wife never wanted a Hellcat.
Was that the white Hellcat?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that car.
When the Hellcat and the Demon were both there.
Yeah, I remember that shit.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. Or that fucking.
I was so mad. That was my first 2 weeks.
2 hours, he was back.
Yes.
He's like, yeah, she hated it.
I was so mad.
So yeah, you rolled out of here in a 911, and you rolled back in whatever the fuck this is. It weighs
after a while, you learn to see the
4,700
signs,
pounds.
though.
Take
you
it
could
back.
tell people who were just borrowing cars after a
Oh,
while.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like, okay, don't count this one on my paycheck.
I mean,
he's bringing this back.
So you return the Scat Pack.
Yeah, so I returned that car. The thing is I actually enjoyed driving it all the way down to San Diego and back. It was super solid and surprisingly got way better gas mileage than I thought it was going to get on the freeway. I think we got 27 miles to the gallon, just cruise control.
Oh.
Yeah, we just set cruise control and just let it do its thing, and it did really well. So I returned it, and then they talked me into, because obviously when you return a car, they want you to leave with another car. So they talked me into another car, and I was like, well, no more muscle cars for me. Let me see what you have in the import section. So they're like, oh, we've got a Infiniti Q50 Red Sport. And I was like, ooh, 400 horsepower. Let's check that one out. So ended up doing the same thing, borrowed it for another 7 days. I had the Q50 Red Sport for 7 days. That was actually a really fun car. It had it had the what do you call it, adaptive cruise control, and it had really good lane sensing, and the steering wheel would move to keep you in the lane. So I would literally just set everything on, like all the automated stuff, and I would just drive home from work, check my emails, and it drove. The car it was great. It was actually really cool, but the car had like chrome trim, and it looked like a grandpa car, and I wasn't like super feeling it. So after I returned it, I decided I wasn't going to keep buying cars from CarMax, and that was when I was like, you know what, I really did like that Charger. So I went over to the Auto Nation, Dodge Auto Nation, whatever, and I ended up getting the 2019 Scat Pack. I took it right off the showroom floor. It was like V5 blue. It had every option except for adjustable suspension. So I mean, it was so clean. It had it had heated and cooled seats. The cooled seats, man, that was one of the coolest features ever. Just this fan kind of blowing up on the goods, man.
My 14 SS had that. My 14 SS had every fucking feature known to me. I don't know why I ever got rid of that. Oh, I blew the engine twice. That's why I got rid of it. Anyway. Only guy I know that blew 2 stock LS3s.
Yes.
But anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, it had the cool seats. And when you leave, I know, right? The dealership was like, how the second time? They're like, what did you do? I was like, I don't know. You guys fixed it. Fix it again. The fuck? It's under warranty.
Your shirt is literally how you blew the motor.
Yeah, you put sticky ass 295s on that thing, and things don't like it that much. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, no, the cool seat. You leave the gym or whatever. You put the cool seats on, dude.
Yep.
Butter.
Yeah. So I had that car for a little while, and actually I leased that car because I was talking to a lot of people, and they were saying how leases are actually better than purchases, and I was thinking that I would give it a try. So I leased the car, and then I had an option to buy it outright. And so after driving that car around for 6 months, I was like, hey, this is cool, but after 6 months, I'm not a muscle car guy. I gave it a try. It's not for me. Plus, the Scat Pack, out of all of the muscle cars, like the 5.0 and the Camaro SS, it's the slowest one. It has like the most horsepower, but it's the slowest one.
It's heavy
and I was tired of
yeah,
I was tired of getting beat all the time. It was horrible. So yeah, pretty much. So one day I'm on my phone, and I look at cars all the time. So Facebook is like, here's a bunch of car ads. So I'm always looking through cars, and this GTR pops up, and it's a 2017. Mileage is only 11,000 miles. It's in my budget, but it's the very top of my budget, and it's in the Bay Area. And my wife and I happen to be going to the Bay Area that weekend. So I'm like, hey, babe, do you mind if we go check out this car? I need to know if this is the car that I should be wanting, because I've been wanting it basically since 2009. I got to go drive it. And she was like, yeah, that's fine. Let's go. So I go there, ended up leaving with the GTR. That was this baby right here.
Nice.
So, full circle.
And we've come full circle. Yep. And I left the Scat Pack there on consignment. I was like, just keep it. I'm driving back in the GTR. So, and that was 2 years ago today. So
that's a fucking wild ride, dude.
Yeah. So I mean, I was kind of all over the place with cars, but at the end of the day, you kind of have to stick with what you enjoy. And I started out with those RX-7s, the 300ZX, and that was kind of the cars, those Japanese cars, and I had to go back to the Japanese tuner cars.
I mean, not gonna lie, like, you got that at the right time. Like, 2 years ago to the day, that's literally right before COVID started, right before the shortage on everything, right before that car costs a ton of money.
Yeah. Well,
and you got it during quarantine. You guys have a lot of fun.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, I had it. Yeah, I got it.
I miss quarantine.
No.
Well, see, the thing that was scary about it is, so I bought the car for $80,000, and it was, my first time having that much debt other than like owning a home, right? And I'm like, dude, I own something that's worth $80,000. Like, I got to make sure my finances are all set. Like, my payment's not cheap. It's my payment's about $1,000 a month for the GTR,
right?
And we're going into, well, I basically bought the car, and then like that next week, COVID was a thing. And now we're coming into March, and I think it was March 15th or 17th or something, where we all had to do the stay home for 2 weeks, the lockdown for 2 weeks. And I'm in mortgage, and everyone's like, oh my God, the economy is going to collapse. Like, everyone's going to go bankrupt and go into foreclosure. And I'm sitting here thinking, dude, I just bought this $80,000 car, and my industry is going to just crumble. So I was like shitting my pants. I was freaking out. And I was like, look, to my wife, I was like, we got to save some money right now until we know what the hell is going on. And I don't know what happened, man, but interest rates went way down, and everybody started refining, and I had the best two years of my career ever.
So what do you do for work, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm a mortgage loan officer.
Oh, fuck yeah, you were killing it the last 24 months.
No way.
Fucking all right.
Yeah.
Sheepy Race Stage 2+, here we come.
I know, right? Yeah, pretty much,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah, dude,
yeah,
you should come work out here in Texas, brother. You make a fucking killing. They're bending people over out here right now.
Yeah. Actually, I have some friends who just they bought a house in Texas about a year ago, and they did a refi about a month ago, and they said it was one of the worst experiences ever. Like, doing a refi in Texas was extremely difficult. You have to like get an attorney to sign documents, and there's all these rules.
Fucking somebody said it perfectly the other day, and it was like, I couldn't think of any possible better way to put it. Texas is the only state where there's rules on fucking everything, unless it's owning a firearm, or driving a motorcycle without a helmet. It's like, you can't fucking gamble. Like, don't knock your girlfriend up because you can't get a fucking abortion. You gotta get a lawyer involved for every fucking thing. But hey, you want to fucking strap an AK to your back and roll around on your Harley with no helmet on, you go for it, brother. Like, no big deal. It's like the most ridiculous shit. Yeah, right, in very specific categories. But
exactly. Yeah,
but they seasonally lay off mortgage officers out here too, like regularly. Like, they'll tell them, like, we're going into because we have the winter months, right? And nobody's doing shit, so like stack up. They're like 80-90% of them out here are 1099, and they're just like, fucking kick rocks, go do something with your life or whatever. So it's an interesting situation in a lot of ways. Damn, dude, that's a fucking crazy ride though. That's a lot.
So when did you get the RS5 though?
So the RS5, okay, so I took the GTR to the track, and I was just, the prep was not good, my tires were not good, and it was really cold outside. So I had I had like no traction whatsoever. And I keep going to the line thinking I'm going to launch, and I keep trying to dial in my launch, and I just keep spinning the back tires. The front tires are gripping, the rear tires are spinning, and that's really bad for your ETS unit.
Yeah.
So my ETS unit ended up, I guess, just wearing out. The clutches in there, they ended up wearing out. So the car was driving like super jerky, because the car didn't know where to send the power, to the front diff or the rear diff, right? So the car's driving all weird and jerky. So I take it to my buddy who had the exact same problem. He knew what it was. He knew how to fix it, but the car was down for like 3 weeks. And all we had was the SQ5 at the time. And I'm like, I'm going to need a daily, because the GTR is turning into more of a race car and less of a daily. So I'm just going to need a daily. And it was basically between the RS5 and a Mark V Supra. And I ended up going with the RS5 because, one, I wanted the back seats because I have my daughter. And then also, it's just like a nicer, classier car, in my opinion. It's a lot faster, stock for stock. There's just a lot of things about the RS5 that I liked so much more. And that was about, I don't know, maybe 4 months ago, maybe.
Oh, so you got the RS5 and the R8 like damn near the same time.
Yeah, they're pretty close to each other. Yeah.
You went all in on fucking Audis in a very short period of time, my friend.
I did. Well, yeah,
yeah, that's crazy.
We did, yeah, and but we did end up selling the SQ5. So the SQ5's gone, SUV's gone. So we just have the R8, the RS5, and the GTR. And the GTR is for sale. So, you know anybody?
I'll put your hand down.
Put your goddamn hand down, Kyle. You ain't buying that shit.
Yeah.
What do you if you're selling it? What are you asking for it? Because people listen. Who knows? Maybe one of them's not broke.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think $100,000 would be pretty fair for this car, considering it's full bolt on. It's on E85. Has a flex fuel kit.
You didn't put it back to stock then. You just took the wrap.
No. Yeah, I just took the wrap and the wing off just to make it look a little bit more, appealing to the masses. Because, when the car was green and it had the big wing on it, it was a very specific look. Not a lot of people like that big wing on the GTR. I loved that look. It gave the car so much presence, and just with like how loud it was, it needed that big wing in this unique color. It needed all of it. So
I mean, and if you're using it, if you're taking it to the track, it does need the wing.
Help. Yeah.
I was taking to the. Yeah, I was dragging it, so the wing was actually slowing me down.
Oh.
Yeah. So the car is still still full bolt on, still on E85. It has a flex fuel kit, so you can any blend of 91 and E85, it'll run it just fine.
So how many miles are on it now?
35,948.
That's 100
to be exact.
That's a fair ask for that car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would think so. I mean, it'll come with it's got a starry headliner. It's got lights in the footwell, like LED lights in the footwell. It's got diamond stitch floor mats. It comes with an Ecutech tune and a Cobb tune if you want. It's got some.
Now, what are you gonna replace that with?
The R8.
My bad.
Yeah,
I thought it cars. My bad.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I just basically put the cart before the horse. I should have sold the GTR before I bought anything, but the opportunity to buy a stage 1 R8 from Sheepy Race presented itself, and
that's tight.
So I mean, the plan now, obviously, I do have to get rid of the GTR because I need to replenish some funds, and so basically the equity that I have in the GTR was the down payment for the R8. So I would like to recoup that. Exactly. Yeah.
Dude, the best money you're gonna get is bring a trailer. Put that shit on bring a trailer.
Put that shit on bring a trailer. You should.
You think I should? I was thinking about it. You think my car would do good on there?
Dude, every fucking car does good on bring a trailer.
Everything.
You want 20% more than you're asking for? Put it on bring a trailer.
I'm watching.
Really?
Dude.
I literally sit on bring a trailer all day, every day, and I'm literally watching like 04 Porsche Boxsters go for $50,000.
What?
I mean, like
it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, whoa. I'm sorry.
I will send you the link right now.
He said what he said. He said what he said.
For 50 fucking grand?
Yeah.
Dude, there are so many things.
What were they even sold for originally?
Like 65.
Yeah, they were
$38,000 or something nonsense like that.
So let's go back to the story of the
mid-60s
E36 M3. The most clapped out gross E36 M3 on the planet that sold for $17,000 on Bring It. Right? Is that what it was to me? It was somewhere between $12,500 and $50,000, some shit.
Oh yeah.
Way fucking more than you should pay for a nice E36 M3 because they're objectively, bad. And it sold for well into the 5 figures for. Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
I mean, it doesn't matter if it's really, really nice or if it's not nice. Like, these cars aren't built anymore. Like, they're gonna be rare. Everybody wants them now.
Yeah, but there's a drift tax there. There's all the other bullshit that goes on.
I mean, technically, you want to get big brain about it is you sit on that car for another year or two, and then you sell it, and then you make real good money.
I don't think his wife or his bank account would like that.
Probably not, but I'm just saying. I said big brain.
Right.
I don't know if you guys
have
have
to
paid
do a lot of
attention with
convincing. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave the car here for a year.
I don't know if you guys are.
I'm team bring a trailer. I think you do well. I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's.
I'll give it a try. I mean, I don't think I really have anything to lose by putting it there, so I might as well.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it's legit. I mean, they bring a professional photo shoot out to take legit photos of the car. I mean, you will get all the money for it.
Bring a trailer, sends a photographer to you.
Yeah. They have photographers everywhere, and that's how they get like 200 photos.
They take a
percentage. They don't approve every car that applies to be sold on Bring a Trailer. Your car has to like meet the requirements and the standings to go on the auction site.
Well, so it's an auction site. So I mean, do I have a reserve?
Yeah.
You can set it no reserve or reserve if you want.
Yeah, well, I definitely want a reserve.
And nobody knows. Nobody knows so it'll say in the title either no reserve 2017 GTR or it'll just say 2017 GTR, so everybody knows there's a reserve. So you don't need to
You're not
let
showing
anybody
your hand
know
there at all. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
No,
I mean, I'll give it a try for sure.
Well, because if you look at like, there's a lot of there's a fuckload of like GTR content on YouTube right now. Like the last 6 to 12 months, there's been a lot of guys talking about. You know, you have the Hoonigan effect, right? Something goes on fucking Hoonigan, all of a sudden shit skyrockets. Everyone wants to buy one.
Yeah.
Dustin Williams has one, right? Like a bunch of dudes have these things, and then people are realizing how fucking quick they are, and you can get like an older one relatively inexpensive. But if somebody wants one and wants a nicer one and one that's kind of already built and like know that it works, and they have the money, they'll fucking pay for it. Kind of like yourself with an R8, right? Like the car's already tuned, it runs, it's good to go. Like I'd rather buy that one.
Did you see that was it the Type T that just came out though?
Oh, the T-Spec GTR?
T-Spec, excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dustin Williams did like a full like walk around at a Nissan dealership.
Oh, really?
As this shit's coming off the truck. Like,
but it's like
it's cool.
It's not that special.
I understand that it's a 1 of 100.
It's not that cool. Like it's the color and like the trim and like it's so fucking. Like, it's a Nismo, right? Underneath the
Yeah, but still that car's not
no. I don't think it comes with the Nismo turbos.
No,
I think it comes with different suspension color.
You have the
color suspension. And the carbon, wheels? And you get carbon ceramic brakes and wheels. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's probably, honestly, I bet you that's a 250.
Pushing it, I'm sure.
250,000
an Nismo is 215, right? Something like that. So like I wouldn't.
Yeah, right around there. Yeah. I've seen some people selling, their what do you call it? Their allocation for the car. Or they already bought the car, whatever. I don't know. I've seen some people selling for like 190,000, and it's like a bit much. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a color and some Alcantara on the dash and some
which you can do pennies on the dollar compared to what you pay out of the factory.
I think like if in another, it's not. This is a really fucking.
It's a collector's piece.
But is it though? And I'm gonna well, hear me out though. Like, hear me out. That car is fucking old. Like in its bones, right? They've been kind of reworking the car for a really long time. And granted, they're still fast as shit. They're still super competitive, whatever. But it's been so long that this car has been out that I think that like it's not special enough.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like a 400 LM or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Where that'd be the only difference.
Right, but I mean, so are fucking Phoenix Yellow CTRs. That doesn't mean anybody's really going to.
I understand that, but it's also a GTR. that's the point. Is it's a numbered GTR.
I mean, I guess I'm the wrong guy because, like, remember when I was talking about like buying a 260 RS Stagia and modifying it, and Lenny was like, "Why are you going to modify a 260 RS?" And I was like, "Because I don't give a fuck that it like I want it because it has an RB26."
I want original 260, and I want to modify it to look
I want to do that, and then I want to put an R34 front end on it because it looks better and makes me happy.
Okay, dude, that one that you sent that was for sale, Alex. You should buy that.
It's an RB25. It's single turbo. It's an automatic. Like,
No,
I'm not doing it.
Project.
If I'm gonna,
that is 3 strikes right there.
If I'm gonna do this, if I'm gonna buy the ridiculous Japanese wagon, like I'm getting rid of my STI and buying a fucking toaster, so that the long game is that I can buy the thing that I really want and not have to compromise on it. And like, I want a GTR wagon. Like, it's fucking sick. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're fucking tight. Like, I'm a wagon dude. I love them. I think it's great. I think it's probably, aside from any sports car, the wagon is my favorite shape of a car. Period. As a dad,
RS6.
Yes. If you would like to adopt me so that I can go buy an RS6, I want my own ass. I take out the trash.
An RS6 Avant at work that was your midnight like blue color, and with like the cognac interior, with like the baseball like the leather glove interior.
The tobacco leather. Yeah, that's classy.
That thing was so hot.
There is not much a girl or guy won't do in the passenger seat of one of those things. That's all.
That's facts. That's facts.
Yeah, no, but it's like, again, that's out of my price range. You know, like 100. What I mean, when those
they're like 145, 150 grand. Like
about
that's with markup.
With the markup, yeah,
they're like 120.
Which is just
keep going, homie.
I'm not in a position to be doing that. 55 G's on a Stage A260 RS. We can talk, right? Like that's something I can swing, because then it gives me funds to like that front end swap's like a $12,000 undertaking. You know what I'm saying? The fucking headlights are $4,000. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not going to be cheap to get that swap done and like do all the other shit that I want to do to it. So I don't want to like go fucking balls deep on just the purchase price of the car if I know I'm going to mess with it, right?
Lenny said right in the chat right now, $20,000 landed in Texas.
That's it. But is it a 260 RS or is it a 250? Because I guarantee you that's a 250, probably with an automatic. The 260 RS is,
Jeff Lenny's also our homie in the chat that's like spent 10 years in Japan and like has a 32 GTR and all that stuff. That's like.
If you want to hear a super fucking sick story about owning a GTR in Japan and like having it tuned by Top Secret and the whole fucking 9 yards. We did an episode with him just about his car.
And having it blow up at 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. 250.
That's
okay, 250 manual.
Shit.
250 manual is better, but I don't know. I don't want to engine swap anything. I don't want to RB26 swap something. Not into it. I'd rather just have it be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you'd already be like, you're talking about purchasing a car where it's like, there's almost not a single part for that car I can get stateside. Like if somebody breaks my fucking taillight, I have to send Lenny dumpster diving through the alleyways of Japan to try to find a replacement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just like, let's just kind of minimize that risk a little bit, right? Get it as close to exactly what I want to start with. And then, wheels, suspension, that shit's easy to source, but like, I don't want to be, especially like, dude, look at how expensive like 1Js and 2Js are getting now. And it's to the point where like, well, I mean, you're in drag racing and shit. Like guys are going to just get billet blocks because it just ends up being long game, the less expensive option. I mean, granted, they're putting 2,000-3,000 horsepower through those fucking things, right? But it's like, are you going to keep blowing stock 2Js for a million years and then as they get more and more and more expensive because they're not making them anymore? Or do I just have dude go mill me a fucking $20,000 block and say fuck it and go on my life?
It is super expensive. There's a fucking unused RB26 N1 block on Yahoo Auctions right now for $55,000.
What's an N1? That's a race engine. That's not exactly.
It's
like...
not though. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It isn't. It's like it's a stronger built motor, but it's not $55,000 worth of shit.
Well, I remember when Jay and I were like mobbing canyons in LA back in the day. There was a site, and it might still be around, Raw Brokerage. And they used to specialize in RB swap imports. You could get a front clip for $2,500 with an RB26 in it that had like 60,000 miles on it. Right now, like a fully dressed RB26 is like $7,500, $8,000, $9,000.
There's a used one with HKSV cams for $16,000.
I rest my case. This is why I'm not trying to fucking buy an RB and swap it in anything. I'd just rather buy the car that it was in there to begin with.
Here's one for $8,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just not worth it, dude. Like there's there's a level of car where it makes sense to be swapping engines around. Like anything you want to put a turbo K swap in, it makes sense because they're still fucking cheap, right? The whole fucking swap is like a $5,500 to $7,000 fare. Tons of guys are coming out with swap kits for them. They're putting them in more and more shit. Jay just sent me a 65 Mustang where the dude turbo K swapped it, right?
There's an R34 with a fucking K swap in it.
That guy's gonna get lynched. For sure.
Yeah.
Like,
no, because if you go out in the driveway and look at his 33 GTR and his 32 GTR, you can't lynch him for shit.
Well, no, that was a GTST though, right? And then he body swapped it, or was it a real GTR?
No, sure. The 34 was a GTST that he bought.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, so like that's
it's a real 34, but it's not a GTR.
Yeah, exactly. It's an ER34. It's not a GTR, so it's like not quite. It's not like he ripped the perfectly good engine out of a $300,000 GTR and put a Honda engine in it, right? Like he bought it.
So what's the maintenance like on your GTR?
On mine, what's the maintenance like?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as just like your standard, like oil changes, I just do them myself. I mean, it's no, it's not that bad. Spark plugs are a little pricey. Wheels and tires are a little pricey, just because you got to get the right. You got to get a tire that's good and it's got to be the right size.
Thick boys.
But for the most part, I mean, it's not outrageous. Like it's just a standard Japanese car, I guess.
Supercar, yeah.
They're meant to be worked on. That's the cool.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
I have one serious question, and this is just like as a perspective thing, because you've recently graduated into like a strata that I'm years away from fucking with. So I'm sure you bought the GTR because like you said, it was a tuner thing. You were trying to go back to the Japanese thing, and at the time, and I would argue even still right now, like that's the mountaintop when it comes to Japanese cars. Like there's an argument you could make for a new NSX, but I've driven them. It's a great car, but I don't think it has the same kind of vibe that like a GTR has.
Right, yeah.
So you got there, and then you got the R8. Is there anything that would ever like put you back in a Japanese car at this point?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I want to have a nice car collection, so I'm only selling the GTR right now because I just don't really have the funds to keep a GTR and an R8 right now. But the goal is to keep the R8 and then get another GTR, maybe like a 2013, and build that one because you can buy those for a lot cheaper. Build that one out, and maybe get 1,000 horsepower, maybe 1,300 horsepower on a on a 2013 GTR. I think that would be a pretty sick. That'd be a pretty cool car. So I mean, yeah, I didn't like completely exit the Japanese car game. In fact, one of the things is when you buy a car like the R8 and you spend a ton of money, you start thinking, man, I could have bought a Mark IV Supra. I could have bought a third gen RX-7. I could have bought an R32.
You could have bought an R34 and put it in storage for this like even money.
Yeah. But you see what I'm saying? Like there's so many cars that I could have bought a whole entire car collection for the amount of money that I spent on the R8. So sometimes that thought goes through my mind. Well, I could sell it and then I could get the Mark IV Supra. I could get the third gen RX-7. I could get all these, all my Japanese dream cars. I could buy all of them for cheaper than I bought the R8 for. So, that's a thought that always goes through my mind too. So, I mean, I didn't fully exit the Japanese car game. I just switched over from a GTR to an R8. Just to kind of happen.
Holy grail for you? Is there like a one car that you want one day? No specific car?
I mean, I don't know. I think it would be pretty dope to have a Bugatti.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, right? Like, I think it's at some point.
That's gonna be the name of the episode for the record. I think it'd be pretty dope to have a Bugatti. That's just gonna put it.
Yeah. I mean, and so at my office in downtown Sacramento, I have a huge picture of a $3 million Bugatti on the wall. So, I mean,
vision board, straight up.
Vision board, yeah. So,
I mean, hell yes,
nice,
that's dope.
Nice.
But it's just one of those things. Like, how do you what financial level do you have to achieve to take $3 million in cash and spend it on a car?
Spend it
Like
on a
how much?
vehicle.
Yeah, how much more money do you have to actually do that? Right? Like you don't have like $5 million and spend $3 million on a car. Like you don't do that, right?
I would hope not.
You got to have at least 10 times what you had when you bought the R8, at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's just it's just one of those things where it's like when do you buy that car? Do you win the lottery? Do you hope your net crypto purchase goes to the moon and you make 100 million? Like what I mean? Like
all in
how do
NFTs,
you
bro.
NFTs? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's like a really interesting point because like an R8, like so, and I'm just ballparking, right? Obviously, but like that R8 is 1.5 GTRs, maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. 150.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
That
mean,
fucking
without
Bugatti is
the
like
stage one,
over a
without
dozen
the stage
fucking
one kit.
R8s. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I'm sorry, like I don't want to ask a really stupid question because it's really fucking late in the podcast, but like, is this a V8 or a V10 R8?
V10.
It's a V8 twin. Okay, it's a V10 twin
It's
turbo.
V10, yeah.
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 That is fucking
Yeah, it's a
wild.
Huracan. It's the doubled fucking RS3 engine.
Okay, so I'm
Yeah.
seeing V10 R8s right now go for 150 plus on Bring a Trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, every single one that goes up right now is going for all the
Yeah.
fucking money. Plus the Sheepy
Yeah.
built kit. I mean,
Yeah.
That's the fucking crazy thing too when I think about like modified supercars, because in almost every other, unless you're selling to an enthusiast, obviously that being the X factor, right? But in almost every other class of vehicle, a modified car depreciates the vehicle.
Yeah.
But somehow when you get to like supercars, it's like somehow they gain like value. Like,
just imagine
Yeah.
15
so
years
weird,
from
man.
now, you're selling a Sheepy Race built Stage 2 packaged twin turbo V10 R8.
Yeah, and then some dickhead fucking 12-year-old in a Tesla flies by you at like Mach 7 and it doesn't matter anymore. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
He's asleep.
yeah.
I know, right?
I think that's to a point though. Like I think you're watching the car culture change because of the generation change. We all grew up modifying cars, right? Like,
Yeah.
I fucking started with a Honda Accord, and yeah, it had wheels and it had its intake and it had all this bullshit on it. But like, we from the get when we got cars modified them. Like that was as soon as you got it, you had to do something to it, right? You had to put stereo in it.
Dude, I'm looking at
speakers,
lower it, exhaust.
I was already looking at what I could do to a Polestar. Like I was just looking at it. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna do anything to it. It's electric, and I'm like, but it's got a lot of
There's
wheel
nothing
gap.
I can do.
I tell customers shit all the time. And they're like, "Oh yeah, I don't know if I could leave it stock." I'm like, as soon as I buy a car, I don't leave that shit stock at all. Like I'm already like googling cars before I buy the car. Like that's just how we are. Like
the day the car's coming.
And I think like someone like Sheepy Racing, like what you did is like it is an exclusive club, and like I'm sure their wait list is few and far between, especially parts delays and all that stuff they have going on right now. And like,
material.
To be able to get one right now, I'm sure those things are through the roof.
Yeah, well, so that's the thing is, if I had bought an R8 and sent it to them, they said that they were like 4 to 5 months out on a turn time just to do what they did. And because this was a car that they had acquired and they were selling, they put this car to the front of the line. So I only had to wait 2.5 weeks. From basically from the day I told them, hey, I think I want to buy this car, let's talk, to the day I bought it was about 2.5 weeks. And the only thing that made it take so long was I actually had to get an appraisal done on the car. So that actually took the longest, was obtaining the loan, because the appraisal took really long. Otherwise, I would have had it within like a week to, well, maybe about a week to a week and a half after I talked to them. They had it ready.
I mean, it's the same situation you're kind of in right now, right? They're sitting on negative equity. They're sitting on an asset they need to offload, right? So they're like, you want this thing? You want to put this thing on? Fucking send it. Get the fuck out of here. Give me the money. Get the fuck out of here, right?
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, money talks, dude. So, I mean, that's crazy, man. It's cool to see, like, my concern when I see dudes who drive really expensive shit that's modified like that is like, because nobody garage builds their own twin turbo R8, right? Like,
Yeah.
nobody fucking,
Yeah.
unless you're Freddie
Yeah.
Hernandez, aka Astavaris, dude. I don't just go watch his YouTube channel. So as a kid who grew up wrenching and building my own shit and like, you know, crashed it on Sunday and had to drive it to work on Monday type situation, like I see dudes in like super high end modified cars and I'm like, but like, dude, have you ever like fucking busted a knuckle, dude? Like, have you ever been so frustrated at your car that you wanted to burn it to the ground in your garage?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's cool to see that like you're fucking, you know, you grew up wrenching and you just fucking worked your ass off and got where you are and got the shit you wanted.
Yeah, actually, one of the reasons why I wanted to get an R8 that had, you know, a twin turbo kit on it from a company like Sheepy Race or AMS or Underground Racing or whatever, is because I've busted so many knuckles working on cars that I was like, you know what? I just need to have one car that's done right. You know what I mean? I just once in my life, I need to have one car that's done right. Right. So, because I mean, that's the thing about, you know, when you work on a car in the garage, you're like, shoot, I don't have a bolt for that. Well, these zip ties will work, or this bolt will work, or this will work. Like you find a way to make it work. Right. And that's what makes it your car. That's what makes it super unique and special. Right. But deep down in the back of your mind, you're like, yeah, that could break at some point, or this could be a little bit sketch, right? And so it just got to a certain point where like I had done that so many times that like I needed to have a car that was just done properly by professionals who had the car on the lift. They took the car apart, they built the car, then they put it back together the right way. You know what I mean? Like, how many times have you tried to take a bumper off a car and you broke all the clips? Like, they didn't break any of the clips removing the bumper, right? Like the bumper is
Screenshot it.
it's from the factory.
There it is. Okay, he's back. Right.
Sorry, I think I lost you guys there for a second.
Yeah, no, you froze for a second. It's all good. But no, it's funny.
Oh, was that?
Yeah, it was you. It's all good. No, but it's funny that you say that because it's like you drive enough modified shit, and I'm gonna say this with all due respect. There's a thing about driving a modified car that you modified that you have this like anxiety level every time you hear a noise you didn't hear before, or there's a rattle, because it's like, did I fuck up? Right? Because like if my wheel flies off on the freeway, this is the only guy to blame. Is this fucking seat right here, right? But if you pay somebody with a reputable shop and your wheel flies off on the freeway, it's, listen here, motherfucker, I paid you $100,000 to fix my car and the fucking wheel flew off, and it's like the deniability, right? Like the hands off. Listen, you're buying that thing. I'm not the one that fucked it up. You know, I'm not the one that didn't torque X down right or put the right fluid in it or tighten that fucking hose clamp the right way or whatever. Yeah, I vibe with that, man. I think that's why some people don't modify their cars at all. They just don't want to fucking do whatsoever.
Yeah. Is that why you invited me over, Alex, to do the suspension on your car?
Yeah, I invited you. That's I was like, hey man, listen. Like,
I need your help.
I mean, I know tons of mechanics who don't work on their own cars.
Fuck no, you
That's
do
true.
it.
Yeah.
That's actually very
They're
true.
just like, nah, dude. I was like, nah, I just go to somebody else. I'm not touching it.
Yeah, I mean, when you work on cars all day, the last thing you want to do is keep working on cars when you get home.
Dude, a long time. I used to do metal fab a long time ago, and I got into it because I always wanted to learn metal fab. Like I always wanted to do it, and when I started learning,
nice.
And I was like, this is the shit, and I learned how to run a mill and a lathe and all this shit, and like learn how to weld and do all this other shit. And then when I moved from SoCal to NorCal, I got into ironwork, which is a very different thing, no lie. But I went from like building prototypes in a design center kind of situation for Tesla, where it's a lot looser. The production deadlines are a little bit more spread out, right? You're doing more like, hey, we're going to build this part. All right, that one sucks. Do it again, but do it this way, because we're iterating on shit. To like, I need 5,000 of this bracket by Tuesday. And you're just sitting there and you're just fucking hammering it out, doing the same thing over and over again. And I was like, I hate metal fab now because like I have to get paid to do this shit, and I don't want. I want to do something cool, right? So I think like to Jay's point, like I don't want to fucking. I mean, Kyle's the only maniac I know that actually really enjoys just working on cars, no matter what it is. And he works on pieces of shit Range Rovers all day, and he still wants to go work on fucking cars when he gets home.
Well, it's just it's a little different. Like when I'm working on like my cars or a friend's cars, it's performance or modifying stance
cool shit.
or whatever.
Yeah,
it's cool shit. It's not boring stuff like, oh crap, I got to work on like brakes and water pump this week.
I got a rattle from my center console. Can you fix that?
Right.
Check
Fuck
engines
off,
on
all right?
for the check engine lights on.
You
for
come
the third
put the
time this
angle
week.
kit on my Mustang. I've got to watch the Super Bowl.
Why won't my CarPlay work?
Sorry, man. Too far of a drive.
I'll compensate you with wings.
Yes.
Hey.
Was that an I or an A?
Wang.
Wang. It's just very different.
But,
trips.
Definitely
That's
an
all I'm
A.
saying is they're
The
very
amount that
different
we're
trips.
having is definitely an A.
But I mean, there's I mean, to Alex's point, like I do get that like weird quirk. Like if I do something on my car and I hear something new, part of it is like I know I changed, we'll say, the suspension, and I'm going to get some more noises from the suspension, right? Like
It happens.
but there's also that that whole built not bought. No offense to you, Jeff, but
All good.
I have my car. I've done everything to that thing, like ground up. So it's like when people see it and they appreciate it, it makes me feel better about my car type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it's again, it goes back to that point of like,
I'm not doing a twin turbo kit in my fucking garage.
fuck no, dude. I'm not tearing apart my $200,000 R8 like strapping turbos to it. Fuck no.
I
Honestly,
win the lottery to do that.
I would probably be that guy, like straight up, like
Yeah, I
back
know
the
you
R8 in, and do a twin turbo swap.
Yeah, but you're a
but
special kind of ignorant, and we know that.
yeah.
Yeah, and then you
Yeah.
call Billy from A2B, be like, "What the fuck did you put in your instructions?"
This shit
Yeah.
doesn't fit. Oh, I have it on upside down. My bad. I'll talk to you later.
That was a long day.
I bolted the whole intake manifold on upside down. Weird. That doesn't sound like something I would do.
Weird.
Not at all. Not at all.
Oh fuck. Anyway, Jeff, we appreciate you being on here, man, hanging out.
Yeah, of course.
It was a fucking cool story. For all the little car guys out there, keep pining for that 300ZX, and one day you too may slang enough mortgages to drive an R8, so 800 horsepower twin turbo R8. Work hard, don't be pieces of shit, and things usually work out.
Yeah.
You can check out our Jeff on Instagram at R8_burnt rubber. My bad. Look for his GTR on Bring a Trailer shortly. If you got the stacks for it, it shoots pretty fucking gnarly green flames. So that's always
That's
fun.
100K you'll spin.
That's
Yes,
just
sir.
Absolutely.
We're gonna the next episode. We're actually gonna shoot on a Wednesday. I got some shit going on Tuesday, so we're gonna push it out one day and do it then instead. I think. You got your old boy with that mini truck lined up, Jay, for that day?
Yeah.
Perfect. So you may have seen that truck on Hoonigan at the Burnyard. It's a beam swap Toyota pickup truck with S13 suspension and angle kit. It's pretty fucking cool. So excited to we're gonna just completely shift gears from 6-figure fast as fuck supercars to like Paco's mini truck. It's gonna be great. Cover all the bases here.
I'm gonna tell him at work tomorrow that you said that.
Dude, and I mean it with all due respect. With all due respect.
Look, bro, just letting you know. Your Paco's mini truck now.
I think I'll make him a sticker. I think it's great.
I'll send him a sticker.
He's
already got stickers.
Yeah, of course he does. He drives a fucking Japanese powered car in Los Angeles. Of course he has stickers. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with us. We appreciate it as always. Like and subscribe for the second time today, and we will see y'all in a couple of weeks. Peace out.